Hi guys, so I'm doing something today. I'm doing an experiment that I'm doing a trial on first because I have a potential project, but I want to make sure that this works. So I'm sure that some of you have heard of tea staining or coffee staining. You can do it on wood or fabric. Anyway, it's just a very natural look for staining, and it's ethical and from nature. I wanted to redo our bedroom, and I love the look of like a sage green, kind of like a brownish green. But I also would be fine with doing some coffee stain color, which would probably be like a lighter brown nude color. But the thing that I'm going to be trying is staining with matcha powder. So this is what it is. And it looks like that. I'm going to boil water and then take it off. Put this in and let it steep for a little bit, and then I'm going to strain out the powder, I guess, so that it's not so grainy. In my trial, I'm going to use So that's what I'm going to attempt to do, and I will show you how it goes and if it's a total fail. Okay, so the first thing that you generally do with tea staining or coffee staining is to wet your fabric before you put it in the dye. So I wet the onesie in warm water and I wrung it out decently, but it's still pretty damp, pretty wet. So I decided to do it in a mason jar just because it's smaller and the whole onesie will be able to fit in there, and we'll see how that goes. Okay, so it looks like my water is boiling and I'm going to add some matcha. So matcha is pretty strong. I don't know if any of you have ever had it, but I had no idea how much to put in. I don't have a ton of it, so maybe this much, about a tablespoon. Here we go. Normally when you use like tea bags or coffee, you let it steep for like 15 minutes. So I'll just do the same for this. So I realized that when you make normal matcha, it doesn't come in, it's obviously powder, and you whisk it and it kind of like dissolves, but there's still going to be grains. So I figured, I might as well whisk it to kind of break up the little chunks and particles. So that's what I'm doing. And I think the next thing I'm going to wait about 10-15 minutes, and then I'm going to strain it and put it in. Okay, I didn't actually strain it because I think the powder actually dissolved in it. So also I couldn't figure out how to strain it without like getting it a huge mess. So it might have some grains in it, but I don't think it's a huge deal. So I'm gonna let this sit for as long as I can. All right, you guys, it's probably 4 hours later, and I was looking at the cloth and realizing that it wasn't really working. So I pulled it out just a little bit ago and rinsed it, and it was just like a tiny bit of a grayish, greenish hue, and it wasn't very pretty. So I rinsed them out really good, and I did the same steps but with black tea. It's like an Earl Grey tea. It's loose leaf, so it's not in bags. And I put 40 teaspoons into a pot of water that filled 2 mason jars. So what is that? How much is a mason jar? A quart? Something, I think it's a quart. I don't know. Somebody's probably laughing at me. But I let that brew, and I let the tea sit in boiling water for 15 minutes just to steep and get nice and strong. And then I strained it out with, I have this, it's like a canning thing. And then I have a sieve that I just put on top, and it caught the leaves, and I put it into the mason jar. I'll show you what they look like now. So this is what the black tea looks like. And this is a white onesie, and this is the pink one. They look almost identical in the water, but I'm gonna let these sit for a little while. I can already tell that this is doing a much better job than the matcha, so I'll update you. Just a note to future self, there's probably a reason why I couldn't find anywhere how to stain clothes with matcha, because it doesn't really work. So there you go. Okay, it's quite a bit later, and I think it's probably been an hour since they've been in the tea. This is what they're looking like, and I think that I want to take them out, so I'll show you what they look like. It looks really pretty. It's a nice brown. All right, so it was running clear. Turn this off. This is the color it turned. All rinsed, which is more of like a nude color. Can't really even tell, but it's not white. Here, I'll give you a reference. This handle is white. So I did a decent job. Okay, so then this one was once pink, and it was in the same stain. It looks like it's a little bit uneven. I wonder what they're gonna look like once I wash them and dry them. So not bad.